Hey guys, and welcome back for another Skills and Drills yoga tutorial. Today's session is focusing on crow pose. I'm going to give you some warm-ups, I'm going to give you some variations, progressional options, and then of course demonstrate the full posture. So whenever you're ready, you won't need anything at all for today's session, just some space on the floor, a mat if you have one, and come and join me in a kneeling position. As with any sort of arm balance, you will be using your wrists, so it's important that we warm up the wrists well. So the first good warm up for this is to interlace the fingers and simply churn the wrists. So we're just going to interlace those fingers, and you're kind of drawing a figure of 8 with maybe your right hand first, getting into all those joints, moving that synovial fluid around, making sure they are covered completely. Once you've done a couple of rotations in this direction, you can rotate in the opposite direction. So push with the left hand instead, and that should change the direction for you. If this is too complicated, then feel free to just twizzle out the fingers or the wrists like so, however you want. Shake the wrists out, and we'll just begin with a couple of other wrist options as well. So with any arm balance where you're pressing through the ground with your hands, it's important that you have good hand activation as well. So you should never have a flat hand to the floor. This is going to really upset your joints, your tendons, your wrists, everything, and maybe even transfer into the shoulders as well. So we need to make sure that we have that solid base before we even start. So a good place to start is to think about spreading the hands, gripping the mat with your fingertips. So press down through those fingertips, and then think about connecting the base of your palm, so this area, the squidgy bit at the bottom just before the wrist, to the floor. So make sure all those pads, fingertip pads and palms are connected. From here, bring your shoulders above the wrist, and then think about pressing down through the knuckles. So now not only are your fingertips and your pads connected, you're also connecting, you've got a bend in the fingers, and you're connecting the pads of your hands as well, the base of your knuckles. So you're gripping the mat with those fingertips, pressing through the pads and the knuckles, and you should have a nice solid foundation now into your mat. From here, we're just going to rock back and forth over those wrists, just open out the joints and start to get them used to having some weight going through them. So just simply rocking back and forth as far as mobility allows, really focusing on having that hand activation, gripping the mat with those fingers. And then once you've done 10 or so forwards and back, we're just going to turn the fingers outwards and then do 10 or so side to side. So again, just make sure the heels of the hands don't lift. Make sure you've still got that same hand activation when you turn the fingers out sideways as well. And use this hand activation for anything you do on your hands. So handstands, planks, down facing dog. This is the position that your hands should be in to support your wrists, elbows and shoulders. And then finally turn the fingertips back towards the knees, and we'll do a few back and forth. So you'll notice in all of these positions, my knuckles, my fingers are bent, I'm pressing through my fingertips, my knuckles are pressing into the ground, and the heels of my hands do not lift. So just go as far as mobility allows. And then finally just come and sit back on your heels, shake your hands out, make a fist with your hands, press those knuckles into the ground, and then we're going to roll the hands out as we bring the chest towards the floor, and then press back up to make a fist again. So we're just going to do 5 of these. If you're doing a full warm-up, you may want to do a few more. Make sure you're nice and warm. Again, just go as far as mobility allows, sit back on your heels and shake them out. Another good one for the hands as well is fist and flick. So hold that hands out wide, out long, and just fist and flick. So you're activating and warming up the hands, ready to put that load through them. Finally, now we've warmed the hands up, we're going to warm up the shoulders as well. So a simple way to do this is a couple of scap presses to make sure that we're engaging all the right muscles and making sure that we've got good stability across not only the shoulders but also the centre back as well. If the centre back's not stable, a lot of weight and strain goes through the shoulders. This can cause a lot of shoulder injuries and is usually the main reason that someone gets a shoulder injury, because they haven't engaged enough of their centre back to stabilise the sides. So coming onto your hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, we're just going to do 10 scap presses. So you're dropping the chest through the arms, squeezing the shoulder blades together and then pressing the ground away. The base of your body, so everything from the waist down, should stay exactly still. It should just be a very small movement in the upper body, pressing the ground away and sinking through, keeping those arms nice and straight. Just going to do 2 more. Last one, and then come back to a kneeling position. So we've warmed the shoulders up, we've warmed the hands up. This is also very much a core exercise as well, so we need to start firing up those core muscles. So a good way to start off with this, and this will also help your shoulders, is to come up into down facing dog, and we're going to do a couple of tiger curls. So you're going to come back into this down facing dog position. Again, remember that hand activation. With the shoulders, think about bending at the knees, finding that nice long neutral spine first to set yourself up in this down facing dog, and then pulling the shoulder blades apart. So you're really stabilizing your shoulder girdles and creating space across the upper back, but also releasing the neck from your shoulders too. From here, you can start to extend the legs, and we're going to inhale as we send one leg up high to the sky. It doesn't matter which, because we're going to do both sides. As you exhale, you're going to crunch that nose to knee, and then inhale to kick back. We're going to do 5 each side. So exhale to crunch. Think about planching over those wrists as you bring that knee through to keep the knee nice and high away from the ground, and really squeeze in to the nose. As you exhale on that 5th one, replace the foot to the floor and switch sides. If you need to, you can always come down for a mini break in extended child's pose and then switch sides. So inhaling to lift the other leg up high to the sky, and then exhaling nose to knee, inhaling to kick back. And again, find that planche. And then relax as you exhale, come down onto your hands and knees and sit back in child's pose for a couple of breaths. The final warm-up that we're going to do before we transition into crow pose today is a planching hold. We're just going to do 5 reps of these. So we're going to set ourselves up in that down facing dog position, and then we're going to shoot our body weight forwards in a plank position, but really aim to get the shoulders further forwards than the hands or the wrists, and kind of take the bum up quite high. So you're pressing the ground away, you're taking the bum up high, but you're not letting the hips push towards the ceiling. So you're finding a little bit more of a curved plank. So I'll demonstrate it to you, and then you can do 5 in your own time. So remember, once you're in down facing dog, we're going to inhale to roll forwards into that high plank position, pressing the ground away, almost hollowing the chest out away from the ground, shooting those shoulders further forward to those wrists, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then pressing back. So you'll notice I rolled onto my toes. The aim is to get more weight in the upper body than there is in the lower body, so that you can balance on your toes with ease. So whenever you're ready, we're going to do 4 more. So inhale to roll forwards, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press back, 3 to go. Inhale, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press back. 2 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one as we press back. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale and get ready. Inhale as you roll forwards. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, guys. Come down onto knees. Come back into extended child's pose and just take a couple of breaths there. Shake it all out. So now we can start working towards those progressions. So the first one is a reclined option. This is going to help you get your alignment correct, understand where you're supposed to be when you're in that arm balance pose, but without the strain of holding your body weight in your hands. So come onto your backs. We're simply going to tuck our elbows into our armpits, basically. So you're going to take your hands up towards the ceiling, reaching out long with your arms as if you're in that crow position, but on the floor, just on your back instead. So arms are nice and reaching up high, nice and activated. And then you're going to tuck your knees into your armpits. So you're going to need to lift your lower body off the floor slightly to get those knees in. So whenever you're ready, you're just going to lift, tuck, and you're going to try and do 5 of those. So you'll find that you'll need to lift your head as well and planche through your elbows as if you're pressing that ceiling away. So we're going to do 5 together. So finding you might need to just take your knees out slightly wider, otherwise you're going to hit yourself in the chest. And you might just want to take your hands kind of eye level up towards the ceiling. So whenever you're ready, you're going to inhale to lift and tuck. And then relax. The next progression for full crow pose is a single leg lift instead. So we're going to set ourselves up. We're going to find that position on the mat now. So remember, really important, hand activation, gripping the mat, spreading the fingers and gripping the mat with those fingertips, palms and knuckles, pressing down. You're then pressing and activating the elbows too. So everything should be activated from finger all the way through to shoulder to protect all your joints in this pose. We're then going to almost walk our hands too far in. So I like to start quite folded up and I'm thinking about sending my knees into my armpits. So we've just done that on the floor. You're now trying to find that position on the ground. So if you want to spend some time just figuring out that position, you're then going to let the body weight transition forwards and you might want to take a bend in the elbows. The knees will go slightly out to the side and you're trying to use your shin, the shin bone kind of at a side angle on your arms. Otherwise, you're going to end up with nice bruises in the back of your biceps. So try and use the shin rather than the kneecap on the arms as you balance. And you're using the back of your arms as a shelf to hold those knees. So the higher up you get them, the better for you in this posture and the more progression you're going to have. So coming forwards, you're just simply going to lift, find the position with your knees, lean forwards, and then when you're ready, take one leg off. Hold, and then reset, and then try again on the other side. So find the position, tuck the knees in, lean forwards, and then take one leg off, reset, and start again. So you're going to pause the video, do 2 or 3 reps on each arm, and then I will show you the full posture. So for those of you that are a bit scared about the leaning forwards, don't be. You can always grab a pillow, place it in front of you. You haven't got that far to fall, so you're actually okay. You just need to lean forwards further than you think to find that balance. So you're going to set yourself up in that nice crow posture, tuck your knees in, and you're just going to tip as far as you can until you find enough balance to hold yourself away from the ground. Think about pressing the ground away, tucking those heels up tight and pointing the toes away from you, and then just relax as you come back down. So have a go at those. You can try lifting one foot first and the other, finding your balance, lifting both. Give it a go. Any questions, drop me a DM, drop me an email. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. Good luck, guys, and I'll see you on the mat soon.